Hi everybody, it's Thomas here from Thomas Fitzgerald Photography. So last week Phase 1 released a major new version of Capture One, so this brings it to version 12, and this was a pretty significant update. So the biggest change in the software is probably the new interface. They have a new kind of flat design, or at least that's what they're calling it, and they also reorganized the menus and things like that. But the biggest thing for Fuji Shooters is that Capture One now supports the film simulation modes. However, unfortunately, these are only on second generation and later X-Trans cameras, so basically the X Pro 2, that generation and newer, have the film simulation mode supported in Capture One. So if you have a first generation X-Trans like the X Pro 1 or the XT1, unfortunately that's not supported. I don't know the reason for this. I don't know why they've did this, whether there was some technical reason for this. I can't see why there would be. But anyway, that's unfortunately where we are. Now, as far as I know, the film simulation modes are in both the Express version and the Pro version. I'm using the Pro version today for this demonstration, but as far as I know, they're in the Express version as well. I haven't actually tested this yet because I've mainly been working on the Pro version, but I'm pretty sure they're there. So to give you a quick demonstration of the new film simulations and how to set them, I have just picked a few random Fuji images here in my library, and I'm going to go through it now and give you an idea. However, before we get to that, there's one other thing that I need to make you aware of, and that is that they have upgraded the processing engine. So the previous version was version 11 and it's now version 12. So if you're importing new images, they will automatically get the new processing engine, version 12. However, if you've upgraded your library, so you're upgrading from a previous version, you will need to upgrade the versions as well. Now, you don't have to do this. You can leave them on version 11. I'm not sure exactly what limitations there are. It's just a newer, better processing engine. So I like to update the images as I'm working on them. If I wasn't doing anything to them, I'd just leave them. So, but to do it, it's really straightforward. So on an individual image, you can just go to, let me see, you go to the color tab, and where it says base characteristics, you'll see engine, Capture One 11, and all you do is hit the upgrade button, and that will now upgrade it to version 12. Okay, so if you want to upgrade all of your images in a folder or whatever to the new engine, what you need to do is select all the images. You want to make sure this little button here is turned on, because that tells it to apply the settings to every image you have selected and not just the one. And then you go to the image menu and go down to upgrade engine, and this will now upgrade the engine for all your selected images. Okay, so yeah, you can see if I click on them, it's saying engine Capture One 12. Okay, so to set the film simulation modes, it's actually really simple, and you probably see it here already. So if I just pick an image, so say just this image here, and I zoom into it, under the base characteristics tab, so again, we are still in the color tool tab, and down to the base characteristics section, you see ICC profile, and that it will be the generic profile. So in this case, it's the X Pro 2 generic. So if you're using an XT2, an XT3 or whatever, it'll still be under that, under generic. So here in the curve pop-up in the base characteristics tab, you just click on this and you get all your film simulation modes. So you have acros, acros plus G, acros plus R, acros plus YE, etc, etc, etc. Classic Chrome. Interestingly enough, you also get Eterna, even though Eterna isn't actually supported on the X Pro 2. So that's interesting. And then, so Provia, or in this case, I'm going to go with Velvia because it's a kind of a bright colory thing. And then you can continue on and do whatever adjustments you want to do yourself. So if you want to copy, say you want to copy the color profile then to a whole bunch of images. Well, there's a couple of different ways you can do it, but I'm going to show you the quick way if you want to kind of sync a bunch of images with the same color profile. So if I just go back to the browsing mode here and say I want to copy it to, I want, say, these three images and maybe say this one as well to be Velvia. So on this little button here, click on this, and we want camera profile and film curve. We don't actually need camera profile, but I'll leave it on anyway, and then just hit apply, and that will copy to all those images. So if I go into this now, you can see it's set to Velvia. So again, just make sure that this multi-edit button is turned on. I'm not sure the exact proper name for this. It's edit selected variants. Okay, so if I go in here now, you can see that's set to Velvia. Okay, so one other thing. Let me just pick one more image. So just go back out again, and let me just say, okay, so let me just set this to Provia. Okay, so personally, I almost always shoot Provia in camera. I very rarely use the other film simulation modes in camera because mostly I shoot raw, and I know I'm going to be processing and changing them afterwards, and not everybody does this, but that's kind of the way I like to shoot, and I know some people do as well. So if you want to tell Capture One to always apply Provia, so basically you want Provia to be your default film simulation mode, and this can be for any film simulation mode, doesn't have to be Provia. I'm just using Provia as an example, but if you want to set that as default, you can do that quite easily. Now this only works in the Pro version of Capture One. This doesn't work in the Express version, but you simply, in the base characteristics tab, so first of all you set it to Provia, and then go up here and go save defaults for Fujifilm X Pro 2, and once you do that, it will now set Provia as the default. So if you import new images into Capture One, they will have Provia applied as default. So it's pretty straightforward. So if you want to save yourself a bit of time, that's what I suggest you do. And again, if you say you prefer to shoot with Classic Chrome mainly, then set it to Classic Chrome. Otherwise, you can just set them on a per image basis. There's no way, unfortunately, to get it to read it from the metadata as yet. So unless they add that to a future version. So that's pretty much it. There's lots of other new features in Capture One 12 as well, which I'm not really going to go into much here, and I will cover in a future version. And if you have any questions or anything you'd like me to try and show you, just let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that little bell button so you're notified when new releases come out. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.